Today we're gonna do eggs a couple different ways. We're gonna do a chicken Denver omelet. Gonna teach you how to poach an egg. We'll fry an egg. Cover all the basics for you. Went ahead and got my mise en place for our chicken Denver omelet. Onions, peppers, some sliced mushrooms. We've got some sliced chicken breast sliced really thin to go in my pan. We're gonna start with, for poaching an egg, you do not want to boil, but you want to simmer. And we're right at this point right now with our pot. The key to this is when you start with that, I add about a half a teaspoon of vinegar to my pot of water. They say the acid helps the egg congeal. But we're going to try to time this all out to finish together. So I've got my pans heating up. I'm going to start with my Denver omelet pan. And I'm going to start by putting in my oil, or in this case, margarine. And once we get our butter in there and melting, we're going to go with our raw chicken, sliced really thin, as you can see. That means it's going to cook real quick for us. Go ahead and get that spread out a little bit. Make sure we got a nice even cook there. And because we've cut this chicken so thin, it's going to cook super fast. So now that I've got it flipped like that and the cooking process started, because it's going to be a minute, we're going to get our vegetables in here and start them going. And by the time our veggies are to our desired stage, our chicken will be done and ready for us to add our eggs into this. So while that's going, we're going to go over here and I'm going to get my eggs cracked, ready to add to my omelet. When I do an omelet, I do a little bit different than just scrambled egg. I add just a little bit of milk into my mix. Let's get that one flipped over. There we go. When cracking your egg, I always go and crack on a smooth surface. And what that does is keep you from getting any pieces of shell inside your bowl, and assures that you're going to have a low calcium egg and not so crunchy. Now, it's a myth that they say you need a whisk. When we grew up, this is what I used. It's what my mom used, what her mom used. So, and forks seem to be perfect for whisking eggs. You just want to make sure you get your yolks broken. Let the tines of the fork do their job, and you're looking for a nice mix. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to this, not too much. And then I'm ready to go and add that to my pan. And pour my egg all around, because you want to make sure you get it to go down. And get it everywhere in that pan. Thank you. And what you do here is spread your mix out. Make sure that your egg isn't going to cook so fast that you can't work with it. But if you go ahead and just kind of fold the edges back, you can kind of do this to it and the egg will fill in. All your uncooked egg kind of runs and fills those holes for you. And now we've got that in there. That cooking is going on. Got our timing. So we're going to go ahead and put a couple pieces of cheese in here. Going to go ahead and crack an egg to drop in my poaching water. I'm going to put another little bit of oil into my other pan to fry an egg. And to poach, I've got a simmer going on here. You can see I've just got a little bit of that convection action. I'm going to take my egg that I've cracked and as close to the water as I can, right down in. And what that does is our hot water surrounds it and starts cooking that egg basically as soon as it hits that water. If it was boiling, the convection of the water would make that egg basically a scrambled egg and break it all apart. So that's why when you poach, it's very important you want to be at a simmer. Now to do a fried egg, once you've got your pan and your butter melted, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to crack our egg and right down to the pan. Just open it up. If you drop your egg from a lot of height, there's a good chance you're going to break your yolk when the egg hits your pan. And that's not what we want. And of course, as goes with everything, a little bit of salt and pepper goes a long way. Now to let that just sit there and cook, when this big thick ring around that yolk turns white, what we've got is a sunny side up egg. Not many people eat that anymore. Now on our Denver omelet, we're just about done there. So I'm going to see if I can't work around and get this to come loose. There we go. I'm going to give that just a little bit longer. I still see I got some cooking to do. Now that'll finish cooking over from the heat once we flip her up. That takes years of practice. I would recommend you use your spatula right now. But now I'm going to turn my heat down on that and coat it off. And the heat from that pan is just going to keep cooking those eggs without actually browning them. I know I got a lot going on, but now at this point you're almost at sunny side up. That is still not done. You want that to be as white as that. And it's going to firm up when it gets there. So I'm going to let it go out over a little heat a little bit. Now the thing about this is, once it gets the sunny side up, we can take it and flip it over. Sunny side up will get there probably about 30 seconds from now. But at this point, if I take this egg and I flip it and give it about 5 to 10 more seconds, I've got an over easy egg. If I let it cook for about another 30 seconds, I've got an over medium egg. If I let it cook for another 30 seconds and then break my yolk and let it cook another 30 seconds, I've got an over well egg. And now I've come back over here to my omelet pan and I'm going to try to give it one more flip. See if I can get this in here. Oh yeah. Look out, Denny's, here I come. I'm going to check our egg back here, poaching. Generally, you want to let those poach for about 5 to 8 minutes. They'll ask for a light poach, that's 5 minutes. They'll ask for a hard poach, that's more towards the 8-minute mark, which is about the same time it takes to boil an egg. Thank you. Now that we're over here, I'm going to go ahead and pop my yolk, all right, and then flip that, give it one little press. Let that yolk come out, because when they order an over well egg, they don't want to see any of that runny. So that's what your goal is. We've cooked the egg firmly. We've let the yolk come running out. Now we're going to flip it and let it cook that yolk until we're sure that all that orange is out of the yolk and it's cooked firmly through. And that will be our over well. But believe it or not, you've now watched a fried egg go from sunny side up, over easy, over medium, to now over well done. And I can show you by cutting into here. Oh, we're almost there. You still got some runniness. So we're looking to get that out. I'll give it one last flip and let her finish. And at this point, our poached egg should just about be done. Little one? Yes. And so very carefully, you want to go in and just kind of get up underneath it and lift that out of your liquid and right onto your plate. And you've got a perfectly poached egg. Now if we make a little bit of hollandaise sauce, put that on some an English muffin with a thin slice of Canadian bacon. That's breakfast right there, fit for a king.